Here you can see the next jump statement is JG. JG stands for jump if greater. It will compare the two operands. If you, for example, you are using compare statement, then as per the result of comparison, specific flags are will be enabled, and if the numbers are greater or less, this statement will execute. It will jump to the label if the previous arithmetic operation represents that second operand is greater. Then next one is JGE, that is the short form of jump if greater or equal. Again, these this will compare, and here the comparison is on the basis of if the it will jump to the label if the value is greater or if the value is equal. In both the cases, that will be going to jump on the specific label. Then next conditional statement is JL, jump less. Similarly, JLE, jump less and equal. These basically, if you are using simply JL, that will jump in case of the value less than, and if you are using less and equal, then the statement will execute and jump in both the condition if your value is less or if your value is equal. The next instruction which I am going to explain is call. That is basically to call a subroutine. I have told you earlier that if a specific portion of the code or specific chunk of the code you want to execute again and again, you make it as a subroutine. So how we call a subroutine? Basically, we use a statement call and then we name that subroutine. So basically, what is the difference between a simple jump and call? Basically, in jump there is a no coming back. You go to the label and execute the statement and then terminate. In that case, after executing a subroutine, your call statement will return back the flow to that specific label. Here you can see that first move CL comma BH, then and BH comma 32, then there is statement of call. Basically, this after executing the statement, your flow will be at SP14 label. You will be executing these two statements, and as you can see that subroutine ends with RET. So after executing this, your flow come back to the statement where you have called your label or called your subroutine. Then these two statement will be executing. So basically, the difference between call statement and jump statement is in case of jump there is no coming back, whereas in call statement your subroutine will be called, and after executing the subroutine your flow return back to the statement where it was being called, and then the very next statement after the call statement will be executed. Then this RET, basically short form of return. I have already explained that this statement has no operand. It will just use to return back the flow, and it is associated with the call instruction. When there is a call instruction, there will definitely be a return statement as well, and I have already explained about the subroutine, how to make a subroutine by using the RET statement. Then there is a loop instruction. LOOP is the instruction which is used to execute the loops, and this loop statement also requires a label, and it requires the CX register as well. Basically, this loop instruction will keep on rotating or keep on jumping back to the label, and in each label the value of CX register will be decremented, and it will keep on repeating the loop until the value of CX register comes to 0 or equivalent to 0. For example, here is an example. You can see that move CX comma 100, then there is a XOR, then here statement. Here is just a label, not a statement. Then and add AX comma 1, then there is a loop here. Basically, this loop statement will keep on jumping back to the label here until the CX value becomes 0, and after one jumping back, the value of CX will automatically be decremented by 1. So after executing one loop statement, there will be a decrement in the CX register, and your flow return back to the label which is mentioned. So basically this add statement will be running 100 times, as there is a value of cx is 100. So if you want to make your loop with any you want to repeat your loop with the specific number of times, you need to update that value with cx register. That is a compulsory rule, that cx register is basically count register, and it is linked with the loop instruction.